Good morning, I'm One Kidney Mike. I donated a kidney in February 2025, and now I'm training to climb all 27 peaks in Montana that are greater than 12,000 feet to prove that kidney donation doesn't hold you back. This is part 3 of my Scapegoat Wilderness adventure. As you can see, the sun is currently out. It was looking a lot worse this morning. In fact, when I woke up originally at like 5:30, it was completely covered over. It was raining. When I got out of bed at 7:30, Scapegoat was completely covered in clouds. Now it's starting to clear out. I'm getting a little bit later start than probably would be a good idea. We are still supposed to get showers today, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be like back in the 80s. So I've got just about everything that I won't need out of my pack. It's pretty light. The rest of the stuff I'm just going to leave here at camp. I'll camp here again, and we're definitely going to attempt Scapegoat. Whether we get flint or not is a big question. It'll depend a lot on weather, and it also adds like another, I think I calculated about 7 or 8 miles to the trip. So I'm not sure that I'll be up for that. So when we get to the point where we either go to Flint or we come back to camp, we'll make that decision. Well, I'm pretty sure that this part right here that I'm walking up had a fair bit of snow on it, not like crazy amounts that I had to navigate around. If I have any footage from my last trip, I will put it in here. Okay, I'm making the traverse on what is kind of a ledge, but not really, across over to where you get up onto the plateau. As you can see, the clouds are still engulfing Scapegoat occasionally, but it looks like it is still clearing up, so that's good. This is parts of here where there was snow, which is what stopped me last time, because I would have had to traverse on the snow, and you can see if you were to slip while doing that, you just go right over a cliff. Just wasn't worth the risk of trying to get across. This little guy was pretty fearless. He watched me hike up the mountain and then greeted me on my way back down too. I made it to the top of Scapegoat Mountain, and the views here are absolutely fantastic. So that's where we came up, down there in that canyon. Over there is Half Moon Peak. We were just there yesterday. And then 8006, also there yesterday. That's the valley we camped in between them. There is Steamboat. We were there last week. And then further to the southeast is Steamboat East. We were there over a month ago. We've got rain, it looks like, coming in. Over there is Flint Mountain. And I do not think I'm going to be able to get there today. Pretty long ways away. Well, I had to stop to take a rock out of my shoe. Foot feels a lot better now. I am pretty sure I am going to either climb that peak there or that peak there. I'm not sure. Now that I'm over here at the base, I have decided that I'm going to take this route up. So up this way, over, and then up, and then to the top of that peak right there, which is an unnamed peak. I made it up the first part of the route I was talking about. Nothing too crazy. Now I'm really hot, so I took off the rain gear so that way I could breathe, and I will continue on. It's gonna go this way and just up and around this. And then from there, it'll just be an easy walk to the top. Well, I'm at the top of an unnamed peak, 8,800 and some feet. I'll put it on screen. It is quite the view. Plus you can see the backside of Scapegoat there. And then there's some really steep drop-offs right here, which is pretty incredible. So just another beautiful view. This is just an awesome plateau. Here's a little fun part where I've got to get back to where I was. There's some steep cliffs right here and snow to get by. And eventually I need to end up right there-ish. Well, here's the snow field that I have to cross. Luckily, there's just this small part right here, but it is pretty hard, so I can't really kick in steps. Oh, it gets a little softer over here. Okay, well, good. All right, we're gonna make it to the other side without sliding down. At least I hope. There, now there's more ledges to figure out. Over there, it's a pretty straight drop off. Not really able to climb down there, but as you get over here, it starts crumbling. And there's actually a spot right over here, I think, is probably going to be the best. Oh yeah. So I'll just be able to go straight down this way and then get back to where I was. All right, perfect. I wonder how deep this goes. Can't really tell from here. This side's a little deeper. Can't really tell. More than 5 feet. Not much more, probably. Could be about as deep as this one right here. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if you can see the bottom. Yeah, I think you can, but that's got to be 20 feet deep at least. Dang, and there's snow down at the bottom. I'm wondering if in the winter time, because it's not very wide, it's probably about 6 feet across, if it bridges over with snow. So that way, if you walk along it, you might just fall in. Here's another pretty deep one, obviously a lot wider. Looks like it fills with snow all the way to the bottom in the winter time. This is incredible. So the snow fills in here, and there's actually underneath there, I'll have to get this in another shot, but a bridge over to the other side. This one is very narrow, as you can see, but very, very deep. Holy smokes. Let me grab a small rock and I'm gonna just drop it. Ready? Here we go. Wow. With physics, I'll put exactly how deep that was on screen. Well, it has been a long day, and I am ready to head to bed so that way I can hike out the next morning. That sunset with the moonrise was pretty spectacular. I wasn't expecting the moon to just come up while the sun was setting. I did a total of over 11.5 miles today with 4,400 feet of elevation gain approximately. Well, I didn't get to Flint Mountain. I did summit another peak, so that's good. I'm really kind of impressed with how well I've managed to just keep going. This has been 3 really intense days. I feel that the training is really starting to pay off. I should be able to get started on those 27 peaks fairly soon. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. I really appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. It really does help. And I hope that you have a great day.